If you are new to Teachers Pay Teachers or really any online business, it can be really overwhelming. Anywhere you look on the internet, people will say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do whatever. And there's so many things that you could potentially be doing. I'll give you a little hint, even 3 years in, there's still a whole bunch of things you could potentially be doing. And so it can be really stressful to try to decide what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So today I'm going to give you a couple of tips for new TPT sellers, people who are new, or even if you're not new, that's cool too, you can hang out anyway. But if we have not met before, hi, my name is Becca. I have this whole YouTube channel where I have been documenting and sharing my TPT journey and just letting you know all of the things that I have learned. If I can give you a couple of tips, ideas, tutorials so that you don't have to figure everything out on your own like I did, then my job is done. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button down below so that you know when the next video comes up as well. These are tips for new TPT sellers. If you are new to TPT, I have 2 freebies. I will link them down below. One is like, if you're brand new, here is like the first couple steps of what you need to do. And the other one is if you maybe like started a couple months ago, so your store's already set up, then it tells you how to get from now to your first like $1,000 a month. That's kind of like the goal. It kind of gives you a step-by-step, like here's what to focus on from now until you hit like $1,000. I will link both of those down below. You can get both if you want to. Here's a couple of tips that I wish someone had told me when I first started. Number 1 is plan out your branding ahead of time. So when I first started, I actually started as a blogger and then I added TPT about a year later, but I did not sit through and think about like what I want my aesthetic to be and what I want my things to look like, what I want my products to look like. And because I found a lot of my stuff is really ugly and I had like 5 different logos and I just had a lot of problems because I didn't put very much effort on like the front end into what I want my brand to be. That also goes with products. I didn't plan out like, oh, I want to make this sort of products, like they just kind of happen, which is fine. But if you don't want to have to go back and redo everything a year from now, then I would really suggest that you sit through and think about things like that ahead of time. So what kind of products do you want to create? What kind of teachers are you looking to attract? You know, do you want people who are brand new? Do you want people who are looking for pretty things? Do you want people who are looking for like really differentiated activities? There's a lot of different routes that you can go down. So just kind of think through that ahead of time. What colors do you want to use? What fonts do you want to use? Like all of those things seem really silly, but they make a big difference because it's like how people recognize you and what they'll be used to you having. When I first started, I really wish that someone would have told me to take some time and just, I mean, you could do like half an hour, but just sit through and think through what you want to have your store be and what you want your aesthetic to be, just what you want your brand to be. A great way for like the visual part of that is to look through Pinterest and just make kind of like a mood board of just different pins that kind of like strike your fancy, just things that kind of look like you, look like how you want your products to look like how you want your pictures to look, and then you'll see there are some consistencies throughout. So you might notice that you are really drawn to one color or one style or one certain kind of product and different things like that. So just see what the similarities are, because you might be really into like bright colors or you might be into like neutrals or whatever. So just go and look through those things. I wish that I had taken the time to do this ahead of time, because I feel like a lot of my time has been going back and like fixing things later on, which is okay. But if I put more effort in the front end, then I wouldn't have to do that. Number 2 is treat it like a business from the get-go. I actually have a whole video. I don't know if it goes out before this or not, but if it's already out, then I will link it below. But why it's so important to treat your business like a business. When I talk to literally any TPT author, that is like the number 1 thing they tell me is, I wish I had treated it like a business from the beginning. I wish I had done that from the beginning. When you treat your business like a business, first of all, because it is a business, then you will put more effort into it. You'll be more consistent. You'll keep your deadlines better. You'll put more time into it, and you'll just take it more seriously. And when you take it seriously, then it is easier for your business to grow, because you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort, you're investing in it both monetarily and also with your time and just all those things, to really just take it seriously and think through like, what is the best thing I can do for my business? So treat it like a business from the get-go. I will link the video below. Number 3 is focus on your product descriptions and your previews. So if you are new to TPT, you might not know this, so that's okay. With your product page, like where you actually go to buy your product, your first picture is the one that shows up in search. That is called your cover. And then you have 3 other thumbnail slots. And then you can also create a preview and like upload a PDF, or you can do a video preview. I suggest to do as much as humanly possible. For sure, use the cover and the 3 thumbnails, but if you can, I would highly recommend making a preview and or a preview video, because the more people know about your product, the more likely they are to buy it. I don't have this in front of me, but there's a quote that I love by Zig Ziglar. Yes, Zig Ziglar. And it says something to the effect of, most of the time when people say no, it's because they don't know enough to say yes. That is from the book Secrets of Closing the Sale, which I will link below. I highly recommend it. It's so true. A lot of times your products that are not selling is because people don't know what's in them, they don't understand them, and they just don't know. So your job is to use your product page to convince people that they need to purchase your product. So you do that by having a pretty cover that people want to click on, that you can see what the product is. So if you can put a picture of your product on there, do it. Also have a easy to read title that says exactly what the product is, so they know. Not any cutesy names. You want it to say like rhythm game for 1st grade, or math centers activities, or like fraction worksheets. Very specific, so you know exactly what that is. Your thumbnails are the other 3 pictures. You want to use those to show off your products. If you can, and if you can, I really mean you can, print off your products and take actual pictures of them, because the less you leave up to people's imagination, the better. So print out your products, take pictures of them. If it's like a coloring sheet or a worksheet, fill it out for them so they can see what it looks like. I like to fill mine out in like a colorful pen, so it like stands out a little bit more. Take pictures of them and upload those pictures as your thumbnails, because they're going to be so much better. Again, the more people know, the more people can see, the more likely they are to purchase. So if they're trying to visualize it, they may not visualize it. Especially with like coloring sheets, go ahead and color them so people can see what they look like when they're colored, because people's imaginations are not great. So show them. Your preview is a place where you can upload a PDF. You don't always need to do this, but it is always very helpful. If I just have like a 1 file PDF, I will typically just write preview on top of it and put that on each slide, and then save that as a separate PDF, and I will upload that so that people can see exactly what's in it. It just has preview so they can't like steal it. And then if I have bigger products, then I will make a separate PowerPoint and I will put pictures of the products, and then I'll usually add like little things at the bottom. You don't have to do that, but it makes a big difference in like what people can see. I also love video previews, especially for things like games that people might need a little bit more explanation for, because you can see exactly what it is. I film pretty much all my video previews on my iPhone. I have like a thing I got off Amazon that will hold your phone over top of your desk, which makes it really easy. I'll link it below. It was like 30 or 40 bucks, pretty cheap. And I just use my phone, and then I just upload that as my video preview. And I will say it makes a huge difference. Even if you're just like flipping through the pages, people can see them and they just have a better time. Also, with your descriptions, make sure that you say exactly what is in the product so that people know exactly what's in the product. You never want someone to be surprised. You want them to know there's this many pages, it covers these standards, it's on this topic, it's for this grade. The more specific you make it, the better, because people will be like, oh, I teach that grade and I need to teach that standard. Cool, I'm gonna buy this. But if they're like, well, is it 2 pages or is it 20 pages? No, no, no. You don't want them to guess, because if they guess, they're probably gonna guess wrong. So go ahead and tell them exactly what is in it so that they are ready and aware. Number 4 was actually not on my list, so I'm just gonna throw it out here, but don't focus on TPT followers. I have so many people sending me messages who are like, how do I get more followers on TPT? It doesn't really matter. There are not very good ways in which to actually get people to follow you on TPT. One thing you can do is in the bottom of your product description, say like, don't forget to follow me, and you can put that follow link, which you can find on your dashboard there, so people can click on it and get it. You can also mention in your products, have like a page that says like, don't forget to go follow me, so you can get more products. But honestly, I will say I personally did not notice a difference in sales until I hit like 1,000 followers, which took like 2 years. When I hit 1,000, then I have noticed more sales when I upload new resources, but before that it didn't seem to make any difference whether I had 10 or whether I had 100. So don't stress about your followers on Teachers Pay Teachers. Instead, put that effort into getting followers on like a social media or on like YouTube or getting people on your email list. Those things are going to be so much more practical because it's easier to actually message people that way, talk to people, connect with people, show off your new things. So don't worry about followers on TPT. Build your audience somewhere else. Yes, they're cool, but it's just not. It's not a big enough deal that you need to worry about it. Okay, number 5 was supposed to be number 4, but you know, that's okay. And that is focus on 1 or 2 things at a time. It is so easy to look at TPT sellers who have been around for a while and be like, how do they do all of that? I am the worst example of this because y'all, your girl's got a blog and 2 YouTube channels and 2 different stores and Etsy shop and Instagram, and like I have all the things, but I did not have all the things at the beginning. I started with just a blog. I didn't even start on TPT. I started with just a blog and an Instagram to go with my blog. And then I added my email list, and then I added TPT, and then I added YouTube, and then it grew from there. But especially at the beginning, focus on 1 or 2 things. So maybe you start your store and an Instagram, or your store and a Twitter, or your store and an email list. Focus on 1 or 2 things, or even just focus on your store. Because the thing is, anytime you add something new, it's harder and takes longer to do. So for example, when I first started YouTube, it took a crap ton of time because I didn't know what I was doing. And so it was very difficult and it was very hard and like all of that. As I got better at it, I've been able to do videos in less time because I now am better at talking to the camera. I know how to edit my videos. I know what I like to do when I upload them. Like I just know all those things that were a struggle at the beginning. So it's a lot faster. The same is true with your store. When you first start, you are learning how to make your product, and then you're learning how to write descriptions, and you're learning how to do all those things. So it takes a long time, but it will get faster. So at first products took forever and ever, but now I can turn them out pretty dang quickly because I know what I'm doing. I have templates, all of those things to save me some time, and I just know what I'm doing. So it just goes a lot faster now, and it's a lot easier now than it was at the beginning. So focus on, you know, maybe just your products, and then add something new as that becomes easier. Once that second thing becomes easier, add a third thing. Once that becomes easier, you can add more. So don't stress about all the things that all the people have because they didn't start them all at the same time. If you are just starting out, I 100% recommend you focus on filling up your store with high quality products. Fill up your store with products that people want to buy, that are connected and go together so that people will want to buy more than one. So have a product line, which is just a couple of products. So maybe have one concept and have like worksheets and a game and Google Slides and different things. Or have one style of product for different concepts, or like have one style of game for different concepts. Those are product lines, and it makes life easier because people will buy more at the same time because they'll be like, oh, hey, there's another game on the same thing. That's kind of fun. Fill up your store with high quality products because that's gonna make the biggest difference. I always recommend that you hit 50 products. There is nothing magical about when you hit 50 products. 49 is probably fine, but when you get to around that many, you will notice that you will be selling more because you have more opportunities to sell. There's more opportunities to be found on Teachers Pay Teachers, all of those good things. Really focus on that, and then like once you hit 50, then maybe add something else because I do recommend that. Which takes me to number 6, and that is bring your own traffic. So as soon as you feel like you can conquer something in addition to your TPT store, you want to focus on building traffic. Traffic is just literally people going to your store. Okay, so you want to build traffic from either a social media, from an email list, from YouTube, from a blog, whatever, but you want to start building that audience so that you can drive traffic to your store. TPT is a search engine, so it will provide some traffic for you. But that is not the end all be all. I have a lot of people who are like, why am I not making any money on Teachers Pay Teachers? And when I look, I'm like, because you're just posting things and then leaving them, and that's like it. You can make some money doing that because it is a search engine, but what you really want to do is to create traffic by building an audience on YouTube or on a blog or on social media so that you can drive people over to your store. this is gonna make the biggest difference for you. It is the #1 thing that I preach from the mountaintops, is that you need to market your content by doing something to help you build an audience. You could do Pinterest, you could do TikTok, you could do Twitter, you can do Facebook, you can do whatever you want, but you do, as soon as you feel ready for it, want to bring some of your own traffic. Now, if you just started and you are working on products and you're like, I can't even think about adding anything else, that's fine. Get to 50 and then add something else, because it did say only focus on 1 or 2 things at a time. It will make a huge difference when you get there. So those are my 6, you kind of got a bonus, it was only supposed to be 5, 6 tips for brand new TPT sellers. So if that is you, definitely hit the subscribe button down below, because we have like literally this whole channel is about teachers, paid teachers, and tips and ideas and tricks and tutorials and all of the things. So hit the subscribe button down below so that you get more. If you hit the little bell, you'll actually get notifications when I post a new video, which is usually twice a week. So lots of content coming your way. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the hope in your future endeavors. Comment down below and let me know what you are working on, because I'm very curious. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and bye.